Welcome learners. In this section, we're going to talk about state management. Well, this is kind of a brain to your app wherein in this entire module, we will be talking about a simple to-do app. This state management approach will be helping you to create your own to-do app in which you can track your task, you can update the task and also delete them once you finish them. It's going to be a custom planner that you could put in your pocket and that would be created by you only. In fact, I'm going to teach to you how everything will be done, stored and retrieved offline, which basically means your app is going to work without an internet connection. In order to understand state management, what goes behind with the different plugins for state management, you have to follow along in this series. So let's get started.
Let me lay down the blueprint of our entire module. The number one thing which we are going to intend to do is state management. Now, this is an important aspect in app development. That's because when it comes to states of the app, like loading state, displaying the data state, how do you manage that so that you know exactly what user is displaying or what exactly the user action could be on a screen. Next, we intend to create a very small to-do app. Now, our to-do app is going to be offline. So with this offline mechanism, we intend to learn SQLite. In Flutter, it would be called as SQF Lite. That's exactly the Flutter version. And in mobile, what differences do we notice between an MS SQL and the SQLite? We are going to understand in depth. Third, we're going to talk about APIs. Well, what are APIs? Let's say you have a mobile app like YouTube. Your mobile connects to the server, gets the data, and then displays the list of data onto the app. How exactly that could be done is something we'll try to go through into this entire module. In fact, if the module gets elongated, I'm going to break into small chunks so that you can follow along. We are also going to create a new project as Hoping Minds State Management. What I'm going to do is untick Linux, Mac OS, Web and Windows and concentrate only on Android and iOS. I'm going to wait until my project creation finishes and then move this slightly to my left and remove this piece of code. Now over here I'm going to switch the directory to store my project directory and then I'll be beginning with some good principles like having the core logic in core directory followed by all the UI related things into my views directory followed by something called as models into my models directory. Now here onwards I'm going to teach to you how segregating your code into different directories can actually be helpful to you on many fronts. Inside views, I'm going to create one more subdirectory as common widgets followed by screens. Well, that's a lot of directories I created, and now actually I'll head into my code. Number one, I'm going to add my home screen. Well, I can try to rename this as refactor rename as display tasks screen. Now let's understand the UI with help of Draw.io. What do I mean by creating task? Imagine that this is our device. So in my to-do app that we're going to create, this will be a list of tasks that this particular screen shall be displaying. Let's say I need to get groceries for my family, followed by I'm going to go buy a good shirt for myself, followed by I'm going to head over and watch a movie. So this is the list of tasks that I would want to do over a day. Now let's say there is a plus icon here. Let me increase the font size of the plus as 30. So when you tap on this plus icon, it would fire up a new screen so this on tap will show this screen, and then over here we are going to allow our user to enter the task description, or let's say new task description. So let's say after watching a movie, I'm going to head over and go and read a book. So I'm going to click on the plus symbol, enter over here reading a book, and then click on my button add task. Let me give some color to indicate this as a button. Now this entire two things, I'm going to separate it out with two different screens: display task screen and followed by add tasks screen. Now what we're going to do is, once you are on the add task screen and you click on add task, this would navigate back to this particular screen. So understand the flow. Once you click on the plus symbol, you're going to go and add the task. Once the add task is finished, you will be navigated back to this display task screen, and we're going to make a provision wherein we are going to make this entire list as a listener. So what do I mean by a listener? Just imagine when you're trying to chat on WhatsApp. Let's say you send a message to your friend. So this message, they keep on moving left and right depending upon who's replying to you, and then you can immediately see this particular list to refresh, as good as you hitting the next button, you hitting the send button, and then the refresh immediately happens. That's exactly what I'm going to show to you, how once you click on the add task button, the refresh would trigger this entire list and you would be able to see the task almost instantaneously. With this, you should be able to understand how the theoretical concepts of a producer, which is going to be our add task screen, followed by consumer, which is going to be the display task screen, get into the software engineering. If you belong to any software engineering branch, or in fact try to research about anything on producer and a consumer problem, you will be heading towards a lot of theoretical concepts. In this particular example, I'm going to show to you how the data produced by a producer shall be consumed by display task screen. Here's a promise to you. In this entire implementation, I'm not going to write even a single code for or even a single class for implementing a stateful widget. All the things are going to be stateless widgets. That's going to be the beauty for state management, which will be helping you to trigger the state once you are firing up the data. What exactly goes into the state management and how to proceed with the state management, you have to follow through the sessions, and then I'm going to make sure that you understand them really well.
Although the blueprint might seem a bit more overwhelming, things are not going to be so very complex when you're trying to do the code. Hence, what I'm going to show to you is, in the subsequent section, all the UI and all the blueprint for the UI that we have discussed in this entire session shall get implemented. In order to follow along, stay tuned and keep learning with Open Minds.